Good morning, everybody, on this beautiful day. So I was hoping that the sun would come out the way it has, because we're going to start service off with a song called Morning Has Broken. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for the springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where our feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of that one light, Eden's our play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first word. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for the singing fresh from the word.
Good morning, Internet lands. So grateful to be here this morning with you in celebration of the Science of Mind philosophy and Centers for Spiritual Living everywhere. And so the theme continues to be for a few more weeks, 2020 Vision. And the theme for December is Celebrating Divine Truth. The topic today is, Are You Ready? And we have with us a wonderful music team. We're led by James Brough on keyboard, Rich McClusky on drums, and Monica Medina, who is singing with us today. Monica Garcia Medina, who will be with us next week when we do our They'll all be with us next week when we do our winter solstice program. So what I want to share with you as well is that we have a special practitioner with us today. That's Gail Belluardo, and I say special because she has a wonderful guided meditation for us today that allows us to more deeply experience as we move into the winter solstice. So what I'm talking about today is the question, are you ready? And you might say, well, what the heck for? What am I supposed to be ready for? And how ready am I to be? Well, of course, it depends on the situation, right? So let's see today that we might be more ready than we think we are for many things that we are experiencing in our lives. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whether you are watching us in live stream or you are looking at this rebroadcast. We're so happy you tuned in. If you'd like to be on our mailing list and really know what's going on at the center, let us know. We will make sure that happens for you. And we have on Facebook many ways for you to communicate with us. Share a watch party, put your name, where you're from. Of course, your name is already there, but where you're from, and maybe if you have any questions or are in need of support, use the bubbles and have fun with each other. So right now, I want to tell you that we start today with a spiritual practice. We start with Gail Belluardo supporting us with a guided meditation and an opening treatment. So welcome, Gail.
And what a joy it is to be here, Reverend Frankie. So I invite you to just close your eyes and sit comfortably wherever you are, your feet on the floor, hands and feet uncrossed, and just really breathing, tuning into the breath. And as you tune into the breath, I invite you to bring that breath deep into your solar plexus. Now take a nice deep breath and locate yourself in your heart space, remembering that this is your inner sanctuary, the place that you always have available to you. And I invite you now to just imagine yourself waking up this morning. And as you wake up this morning, you become aware of the fact that it's the holiday season and the winter solstice is approaching. Now, every holiday season, there's a lot going on. But in 2020, this year, there have been some unusual challenges for all of us. And it may be difficult for some of us, for some of you, to get into the holiday spirit. So upon reflection, just think about briefly, what have been some of the challenges you've had this year? Perhaps emotional challenges, perhaps financial, health, relationships. And just know that your heart is holding all of it. It's holding whatever you are experiencing, because the heart always holds everything that you experience. And sometimes there may also be a feeling of an emotional darkness. And if there is, that's okay, because that's part of the human experience. But we remember that we have a choice. We have a choice to begin creating the emotional atmosphere we desire to live within. And this oncoming solstice, with the light returning to us, even though there is light outside, even if you're not feeling light within, you have the capacity to invoke that light. That is your inner light. You have the ability to feel more light. And if there's been a heaviness of heart, you have the ability to feel more lighthearted as well. And to know that that inner light that is dwelling within you is always a warm, comfortable, loving presence. Because there is a hearth within your heart. And it creates the love, the light, and the spiritual truth that you desire. So I invite you to place your hand on your heart, even with your eyes closed, and take a deep breath into that heart space, acknowledging, recognizing, and allowing your heart's desire. Because now you are preparing your heart. You are preparing your heart for the solstice, for the outer light, but even more importantly, the inner light. And even if it's just a tiny, tiny speck of light, it is there. And you have the ability to uncover it. So breathing into your heart, I invite you to think the words, I am open. I am open. And think the words, I am ready. I am ready. And in this readiness, now declare, I choose light. I choose light. And feel the inner flickering of that light and the expansion of its warmth and its truth and its joy. And we move now into prayer. Spiritual mind treatment, our word for affirmative prayer, knowing that this light that is ever present is the God light. It is the immanent and the eminent. It is the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown. It is the solstice. It is the return of the sunlight. It is the flickering light within each and every soul on this planet. And it is the light that is the way shower. It is the light that is the warmth. It is the light that is the divine inspiration and the wisdom of the ages, the wisdom that God has for us, that God bequeaths to each one of us. And I speak this word this morning for each one of us and for everyone within the sound of my voice, knowing that this voice, this word is eternal. So whenever you hear it, it is already activating the light and the truth within you. I know that this is a morning of great preparation. It is a morning of deep and profound illumination. It is a morning of allowing the light that is God's light to wash over each and every one of us, to inspire us, to warm us, to comfort us, to enliven us, to create vibrant health, financial prosperity, divine right relationships, divine employment, and divine knowing. I know this knowing is the knowing of God, and I know that it seeks us. God is always seeking each one of us, and our seeking of God is over, for we just tune within and we know the presence. We feel the presence, we invoke the presence, and we become the presence. And for that, I am so grateful. I am so grateful to be in spiritual community and spiritual celebration with Reverend Frankie and the musicians and everyone here this morning, this day, whenever you hear this. I know that it is the right and perfect timing. And so I release this word with absolute faith, conviction, knowing that the timing of the law is immaculate, it is immediate, and it is absolutely complete. I let go, I let God, and I know, truly I know, it is already done. And so it is. Amen.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
A whole new world, a dancing place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you. Unbelievable sights, indescribable feeling, soaring, tumbling, freewheeling through an endless diamond sky. A whole new world.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
100,000
Hold your breath, it
things to
gets
see.
better. I'm like a shooting star, I've come too far.
I can't go back to where I
A whole new world, with new horizons to pursue.
I'll chase them
Anywhere there's time to spare, let me share this whole new world with you.
a whole new
A whole new
world,
world,
a new
fantastic point of view. No
no
one to tell us no, or where to go.
a flame we're only dreaming.
A whole new world,
A surprise.
new fantastic
Every
to
moment
pursue.
better.
I'll chase them anywhere there's time to spare.
Anywhere.
It's time to spare.
Let me share
This whole new world with you.
a whole new world.
A whole new world,
That's where we'll be.
where we will be.
A thrilling chase.
A wondrous place for you and me.
Yay, that was fantastic. Thank you so much, Monica and James and Rich. A whole new world. Are you one of those people that hold a vision for a whole new world? And if you do, are you aware that you have a part in it? And that part is an inner part, an inner experience, and then activating that on the outer plane. So are you ready? Are you ready? And you might say, ready for what? Well, it could be a gazillion things, right? It could be, are you ready for the holidays? And right now is Hanukkah, so I'm sure you're ready for Hanukkah. So happy Hanukkah to everyone who celebrates. Are you ready for the winter solstice? Are you ready for winter? It doesn't feel like it today, but are you ready? Are you ready for 2021? And we're blessed because Theo in a few weeks is going to do an experience with everyone to be ready. Are you ready for that big project that's ahead of you? Or that learning that you wish to do or wish to experience? We could ask people in California, are you ready for when the fires come? Are you ready for an earthquake? So maybe even a year ago, we could have asked, looking back, are you ready for a pandemic? We were told it was coming. I think most of us weren't ready because we were distracted or we were just doing our own thing. And so maybe you have friends in your world that are on a spiritual path, whether they're classmates or prayer partners, or your practitioners, or somebody that you are doing spiritual practices with. And then you can ask the deeper question. The deeper question is, are you ready for more peace in your heart? Are you ready for a greater sense of compassion? Are you ready to be less judgmental? Whatever it might be, are you ready to open up to the divine? Are you ready to trust the universal law? Are you ready to be more free? Those are important questions because in some ways, yes, we are prepared. In some ways, we can prepare. And in some ways, we cannot. I know for myself that when somebody passes suddenly, like what happened in my family, I wasn't prepared. But that experience did ask me to be more prepared next time, knowing that it would come. And so we might even ask those questions that, are you prepared for an impending loss? Are you prepared for maybe a health diagnosis? Are you prepared maybe for a financial windfall or a financial burden? Are you ready to be an instrument of world peace? Those are all really great questions, and I know that spiritual foundation is the key. And so the reason that you and I practice meditation, spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, take classes, read books, study, watch videos, listen to podcasts that are spiritually oriented is so that we are prepared, so that we have a stronger spiritual muscle, so that we have a more solid foundation. So when the you know what hits the fan, we are ready. To be ready knowing that your faith is solid. It doesn't mean it doesn't get shaken, but it's solid. To be ready knowing that you have a deep internal wisdom that can be applied when questions arise of how to. And to really trust that the entire universe supports us on our journey. So how then can we be more ready? Or for those of you that say, I am not ready for any of that, how can you be ready? Well, first of all, I think it's really important to spend time every day in spiritual practice, to be in the silence and to allow that inner wisdom to rise up into your conscious mind so that it can be applied in your day-to-day living. I think it's really important to spend time every day in prayer, in spiritual study. The first few hours of my morning are about meditation, spiritual mind treatment, and you're included, and study, preparation for a class, I have like 6 books going at the same time with spiritual wisdom that I believe help and support me, but also help me prepare for a next class or a workshop. And so a daily practice, spending in Holy Communion, having sacred time in your day to feel the ground of truth beneath your feet. And you might ask the question, what do I need to be ready for what's coming next? Whether it is an impending death, diagnosis, financial shift towards the worse or the better, all that, and those are visioning questions, like what do I need to be ready? And I like to journal about that, because then it's anchored in a way that I can go back to, that I can look back to. And to really listen for the answers. And then you want to feel that solid ground. You want to feel it when you go out into the world. You want to feel it when you're with family and friends. You want to feel it when you're out on the road. You want to feel it when you're looking for a job. You want to feel it when you hear something on the news that scares you. Because that's the practice. The practice is noticing where your foundation gets shaky. And then to ask yourself, what do I need to make that ground more solid? And allow the answer to come. Usually the answers are pretty simple. Spiritual practices, taking a class, visit a practitioner, which I highly recommend, that you have a practitioner by your side to support you when your ground gets a little bit shaky. And so once you play with that, it can be such a wonderful, revealing experience. It doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be stressful. It doesn't have to produce anxiety, because then it's not a spiritual practice, really, right? Because the spiritual practice feeds you. And so when you feel that shaky ground, sometimes it's just what Gail was sharing so beautifully, is to stop and pause and take a breath and just remember. Just remind yourself, oh, wait, I already have a solid ground beneath my feet from what I've practiced in the past to strengthen my spiritual muscle. So what I've learned in this teaching is that, and I love how Gail mentioned that as well, is that we don't keep seeking. We don't keep seeking, because seeking infers that it's not there yet. We start finding. We start finding the wisdom that is already within us. We start finding the strength we already have. Maybe by reminding us when we got through difficult times, we got through it. That means that we had the tools, we had the strength. And so finding then is an inner thing where you know that the source of all that you need is already within you. It's not found out here. Because as long as we think we have to find it out here, we're going to be more anxious, more frustrated, and our ground is going to be more shaky. When we keep reminding ourselves that the wisdom that we need to navigate through life's challenges and thrive and celebrate the gifts and the blessings that we are beholding, that we are then already on the solid ground. It's a matter of what we believe, right? And so are you ready? My answer to you is yes. Yes, you are ready. And you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and me. We are ready. That's the truth. That no matter what we experience in life, being on a spiritual journey means we're ready. Period. The questioning is just going to take away from hearing that internal wisdom and the truth that is already available to us. And so how do I know that you're ready? Well, if you asked me, how do I know that you are ready? You are ready because you have done spiritual practices. This is not a competition, folks. You have done spiritual practices. That means you're ready. You have done spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer, or someone has done it for you. Because I know that's my treatment work every day for a spiritual community here and beyond. I remember many years ago going to a workshop and the teacher saying, somebody is always praying for you. Somebody is always praying for you. And I tuned into that. It might be the people that don't think my path is the right one, but they're praying for me. And so it may be a friend who holds me in her heart. It may be a prayer partner that always knows the truth about me. But somebody is always praying. So can you tune into that? Because that means, yes, you are ready. Every class you've taken, every workshop, every spiritual video, including this one of the Sunday celebration, every experience that you have had, the ones that hurt your heart and the ones that fill them with joy, all that has prepared you to come to know that, yes, you are ready for anything. This longing that we have for the more, that means we are ready. And most of all, this particular incarnation that each of us are in means that we are ready for anything that comes our way, because all of it is for our good and for our growth and never against us. Can you trust that? Can you believe that? The places where you and I might say, no, I can't believe that, is the place where our inner work is. And the beauty is that you're not alone. You are part of an organization called Centers for Spiritual Living. You are part of a spiritual community, Center for Spiritual Living Morristown. And that means that the support is there for you to rise up with all that you've learned, all the ways that you've grown, and the foundation that you already have. Because none of our spiritual foundations are perfect. They need to move a little bit so that sometimes we can sway and go with the flow. I want to close with a really powerful quote by Dr. Ernest Holmes as a reminder that it means something to be part of a spiritual community. He says that when a group of people come together with one accord and with one thought, a greater power is generated. This is not because the creative principles respond to a number of people more than it does to one, but because the combined faith of a group reaches a higher level of consciousness. Since the explosion of the first atom bomb, we have read about the possibility of a physical chain reaction that might destroy civilization as we understand. There is another kind of energy that's even more important. This is the energy of faith, of affirmative prayer and spiritual meditation. There's no reason to doubt that in the field of spiritual consciousness, a chain reaction could be created which would bless the entire world. Ernest Holmes from Living the Science of Mind. You, because you're listening to this, are in that chain reaction by right of consciousness. You are already a blessing in the world. Be ready to see and feel that manifest, and be ready to allow to be dissolved whatever is in the way. What a beautiful gift we get to give the world when we affirm, accept, and deeply know that we are ready for anything. Let's close that with a healing treatment. And then we will have more music. And then I will come back with a little message about some things that are happening in our spiritual community. So let's know together that there is a power and a presence that is everywhere, in everyone, everything, all the time. That's a powerful truth principle, a powerful wisdom statement that we can make into an affirmation. There is a power and a presence for good in the universe. It's in everyone, everything, everywhere, all the time. So right here and right now, each of us in our own way, allow this presence and this power to have its way with us. It already is, because it beats our heart, it moves our lungs, it takes care of our physical body, and it actually takes care of our affairs, whether we know it or not. Today, we trust more deeply that the highest and best is ever unfolding, that the good is ever manifesting through each and every one of us. And when it doesn't feel that way, we simply have to stand on the solid ground of our truth and see it through different eyes, through a different lens. The lens of light, the lens of love, the lens of peace, power, and wisdom. So today, each of us, let's go of, consciously or unconsciously, a belief that there isn't enough, that we aren't enough, that the foundation is too shaky, that it's too scary to be in the world. We surrender to being a blessing in the world, to being grateful for all the good that has already demonstrated for us and is right here and right now. And we are grateful to be an instrument for good as a community, as a tribe, establishing a chain reaction for healing and for the greater good for everyone on this planet. And so it is.
So it is.
Everybody's talking at me. I can't hear a word they're saying, only the echoes of my mind. People stop and stare. I can't see their faces, only the shadows of their eyes. I'm going where the sun keeps shining through the pouring rain, going where the weather suits my clothes. Yeah, yeah. Backing off of the northeast winds, sailing on a summer breeze, skipping over the ocean like a storm.
I'm going where the sun keeps shining through the pouring rain. Going where the weather suits my clothes. Backing off of the northeast wind, sailing on a summer breeze. Skipping over the ocean like a storm. I won't let you leave my love behind. I won't let you leave.
Yes, there's some dancing in the aisles going on over here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, James and Rich and Monica and Bill and Gail are here, and Michael, thank you for doing the IT. I'm so grateful that we've spent some time together today, and I want you to get ready for next week because we're going to have our winter solstice celebration on Sunday morning during our regular hour, and it's going to be really special. If you want to know more about what we're doing here at the center, please get signed up for our mailing list. We send out messages every week, and check out our website where you might want to even touch the give button and have an opportunity to share your gratitude by means of your abundance with our spiritual community. That's a true blessing and a gift to us. So have a beautiful day and a beautiful week, and see you next week.